Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Mendez. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. Thank you so much for welcoming Renata into your space. Ren, let's tease them. What can they expect on this show?
Because we like it hot. And pan the top drop of that pop. Julisha Jules is going to be in today, and it's not just one, it's not just two, it's not just three, it's not just four. Several beef servings will be given in one dosage for all of you out there. So prepare your palates, prepare your pressure, and get ready for that because we have that in. But we also have other dynamic conversations happening for the day too as well. Kevin, want to tell them what should I do?
Wow, let's do it. So definitely, like this weekend was the premiere of Fuda Wilipa. It would left a great conversation in the community as regards to gender-based violence and safeguarding women. And today we continue the conversation on Sun Up on 7 because Melissa Espat Castellanos is joining us for a deeper reflection on the message behind Fuda Wilipa.
So all that and so much more exciting conversations because there's celebrations happening this week and we have to learn about it, heritage and all the good stuff. You know how this works. Put your comments in the comment section, make it live, interactive, fun, and respectful, of course. Shall we go to the couch?
Yes, because we like it hot.
I like it hot, baby. I like it hot. I want it, yeah. I like it hot, baby. I like it hot. I like it hot. Oh, yeah. I like it hot. I want it,
yeah. I've come to find that the truth isn't what we were told. So where
to everybody on Sunup.
do I seek the answer that's worth looking for today? The writing appears on the wall.
Right now. Tell me.
You and I were the first ones to see.
And we're going to be talking about the hot show that has been
The
happening
world
on the
that we
weekend.
see
So
may
far.
seem that it'll never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can go. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You'll discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sun Up on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode. It's October 27th. I want to say thank you so much for welcoming Renata and I into your space. If you're watching via Facebook, YouTube, or cable TV, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're very excited about today's episode, and let's get started by having a look at the weather, courtesy of the Belize Met Service.
Good morning, Belize. A light northerly airflow supports generally fair conditions. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with a few cloudy spells, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 93 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy to clear with low temperatures of 76 along the coast, to 71 inland and 66 in the higher elevations. Shower activity will be isolated. The winds will blow first from the north to northwest at 5 to 15 knots, and by afternoon the winds will blow from the north to northeast at 5 to 15 knots. The sea state will be light sharp. A low tide will occur at 16 minutes past 8 this morning, followed by a high at 2:34 in the afternoon. Another low will occur at 6:39 p.m. and a high at 1:09 in the morning. The sun rose at 5:49 this morning and will set at 5:23. The moon comes up at 11 o'clock this morning and set at 8 minutes past 10 tonight. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for fair weather to continue, and shower activity will be isolated except for a slightly more offshore. In the sargassum forecast, latest satellite observation show a few sargassum mats beyond the Barrow Reef. The forecast suggests that a few of these mats may drift toward the northern Keys. In the tropical weather outlook at 6 a.m., Melissa, a very powerful Category 5 hurricane, was located near latitude 16.4 degrees north and longitude 78.0 degrees west, or about 135 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. Melissa is moving slowly to the west at 3 miles per hour, with maximum sustained winds of 160 miles per hour. Melissa is expected to turn towards the northwest and north today and northeast on Tuesday. And this forecast track, this system poses no threat to Belize and her coastal waters. And that concludes your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your Monday episode. I trust that you're ready for Jules, and Jules is ready for y'all because he has this beef ready to serve. Jules, good morning.
Good morning.
How is your energy today?
I'm still standing.
You're still standing.
I'm
We
still
supposed to have the
standing.
pressure machines because I mean, so much topics. This would be the perfect time to check you, Julisha.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get
I
there.
feel like you would kind of
said-
like fight it.
I am.
Last I recall, he said it's going to be for the new season.
It's for the new season, but we have to like bring in the new
If
with
I
some of
make
the
it.
old. If he makes it,
Yeah.
if he makes it, because the amount of different things that are happening over this weekend, like when they update the beef, like it's always interesting when you get a beef version, and then they have to update the beef, and do a little more sprucening for the beef too as well. So,
Yeah.
how do you forecast this beef to be served? I always ask that because I want to understand.
Super cool, man. I'm in a new place.
You're in a new place.
I'm not upset with anyone. Things
Okay.
are going as they should.
Okay, as they should.
As
By
they
who?
should.
By you?
We're heading towards failed state status, so
Fail state status.
Yeah.
Oh. So we're gonna dive into it as always, guys, and just rip off the band-aid because there's several things to go through. I think we just heard the weather and we're looking and seeing about this
Right.
major hurricane Melissa.
Yeah, it's a Category 5. It has 3 miles, moving at 3 miles per hour. So it's a very slow-moving Category 5 hurricane.
Causes that build up to as
160.
well.
yeah, the maximum sustained winds are the concern. It went it's 160 miles an hour,
Yes.
and so let's be clear that it hasn't turned north yet, right? It's still jogging, ticking west, and it hasn't made a north turn. When it makes that north turn, the M is for major hurricane. When it makes that north turn, it will then head directly to Kingston,
Yeah.
right? Of course, it's such a huge storm, it will affect the whole island, but Kingston is the largest population center in Jamaica, one of the largest cities in the entire region in the Caribbean. It's, it's so, we live this as well, right? But
Yes.
we have not seen anything like this. And it may be the strongest storm in their history, and they have had very strong storms, Charlie, Gilbert, others. And so we have extremely great concerns for our brothers in Jamaica, brothers and sisters, I should say. And we have great concern for the students, the Belizean students. There are about 100 Belizean students at Mona campus. And many of them are stuck there.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, one of the students, who I believe is a policeman, he posted that they haven't gotten any help, they haven't gotten any word from the Belize Ministry of Foreign Affairs through its consular office in Jamaica or wherever. And I think we have that complaint, guys, from Mr. McFarland. And He said every other government will have students at UA Mona in Jamaica already made provisions for their students, citizens who are out there, but face this breeze projected Jamaica, all except who? Wait, I don't have to guess. I want to say it. Yeah, Belize. We heard nothing from Belize, not even a stay safe message. And so now let us understand Caribbean countries like Trinidad, others, I know they've flown out students, right? Now, we understand they're very easy, or there's greater availability of interconnecting flights within the region. Belize is 2 flights away.
Yeah.
We haven't flown out anyone. But what appalls me is that there's been no attempt to reach out. And you can see there were 2 statements after he put that out, shaming them, righteously shaming them. There's a statement from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We can show that, guys. The statement from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade, Culture, and Immigration has been communication with them. Look who they are communication with. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade in Jamaica concerning safety concerns. That all regional information, et cetera, and all Belizeans, but that's who they're in contact with their ministerial counterparts.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not like we've reached out to the students.
To
It's
assure that
100 of
everything is
them.
going
It's
well.
100 of them, right? Let's look at the other statement from the Ministry of Education. There's another one there from the Ministry of Education, and it's saying it's more or less the same thing. It says that deep concern, solidarity to all Belizeans, has been in contact with the government of Jamaica and the University of West Indies, both of which have assured that all necessary safety protocols and contingency measures are in place. So I'm just saying that, and then we have another screenshot from a student who's there with her 2 daughters. She's a Belizean, and we can read that from him, Mr. Mendes. You're closer to the monitor.
Yeah, it says, unfortunately, we weren't able to make it off the island of Jamaica. And so today, I'm asking you to please keep us in your prayers as we face the dangers of Hurricane Melissa. Though I'm saddened and deeply concerned for the safety of my children, I accept all of this as part of God's plan. Dear Lord, I now place my family in your hands.
Right. I'm told she's a police officer pursuing a law degree. But I'm just saying, I don't have the full information, but I'm just saying there's concern, there's panic, shelves are empty, and those who don't live on campus have the greatest concerns, right? So if you live on campus, on the UA Mona campus, at least the university makes provisions for you, but there are those who live off campus.
And so you have to figure it out for yourself. Basically.
Yes. So, you know, I know that the government of Belize can't realistically send a flight, but I think much more could have been done in terms of messaging, in terms of reaching out to people, in terms of identifying who is most at risk and finding out ways to help them.
Even if it's to give some money so that they can like buy some supplies, whatever it is, something small.
Right, and that's what Mr. McFarland, he had called out for. I need help. I need help because, you know, stores are empty. You need to stockpile. The problem with this storm is that it is moving so slow. It's going to make impact maybe tomorrow morning on the mainland, though they're already feeling the effects. It's going to make impact maybe tomorrow morning, and then it will sit on the island. It will move very slowly,
through the island.
and it will be days before anyone can access anything. So there's a true sense of panic and desperation. And I believe that our government has failed to respond adequately or with empathy.
Yeah.
But do not be surprised, because this is a government that when a hurricane made a land at Belize, they said call center workers are essential workers. We are on a plantation in this country. They made call center workers essential workers when a hurricane made it touch Belize. We were fortunate, we were spared, the hurricane had no major impact, but they put on a paper, call center workers, you all are essential workers. So don't expect any empathy from a government that believes that human lives are expendable in service of the great capitalistic gods. That is their priority. So don't look here for sympathy. We cracked the whip and sent call center workers when Belize was on a hurricane watch.
You have to stay and work because the buildings
Stay.
are apparently safe and everything is safe when it comes
No provisions are made at those places, but they sent them to work. So, and the government has not resolved from that position, has not apologized for willfully saying, I am subjecting you to dangerous conditions because you have to go work. So don't expect sympathy from this government. They don't care about people. Yeah, I mean, if I will never recover from that.
I just want to highlight two things that Aria is saying here. She's talking about this is why we need a clear diaspora policy because of things like this. If something would be happening and somebody's across the next place, how would you put provisions? And then she further looks here, if Belize has a plan, if a category 5 would ever happen to our country, like how would we deal with that? What would be the provisions taking place too as well?
Yeah.
And is it something that the public is widely aware of if the plan is in place? Because I don't know, maybe there is a plan in place, but is the public widely aware? Just considering and seeing how, like, you know, hurricane season comes along and people want to know these kind of information too as well.
Yeah, well, you know, hurricane season isn't finished yet. November is our month, and we have to watch what happens in
To pray and watch
Jamaica
and see what's happening.
and be, well, we have to sympathize with them if that ever came to Belize. We know that if something like that ever came to our biggest population center here in Belize City, because of inadequate housing structures, many lives would be in peril.
Yeah.
And so we hope and we pray that there will be no major loss of life in Jamaica in this storm, but 150, 160 miles an hour, extremely scary. We have to wait and see and keep all our eyes on it.
And for those of us, those of you guys in Jamaica, like I see Chantel in the chat too as well, talking about how the international students are taken care of properly too as well. They always forget them. They're left behind. Where our prayers are out for you guys too as well as you navigate such a scary moment.
Right.
Scary occurrences.
Chantel, our former producer, is there indeed.
She is, with her entire family.
With her entire family. So, yeah, but it's a time of such panic and uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Jules, now let's talk about a new chairman. It's in the Firearm and Ammunition Control Board.
So there's a new chairman named for the Firearm and Ammunition Control Board. Of course, this isn't publicly named. It's just because you all don't need to know anything. Let us understand the genesis of the Firearm and Control Board. It was born out of the revelations made by Channel 7 about the suspicion or the certainty of corrupt practices in the issuance of gun licenses.
Right. Yeah.
People who escape the vetting process by paying their way through it. Right? We got interviews from whistleblowers, including the great and good Mary Beth Waite. So I'm just saying, this is what the Firearms Control Board was born out of. And so it was born to create greater transparency, safety, transparency and public safety, to make sure as best as possible that guns don't end up in the hands of criminals, dangerous persons, and other idiots. So then, the organizing mind behind it was Sharol Carr-Saldivar, the CEO of the Ministry of Home Affairs, right? Hold on, that's Julio. He's the new chairman. Let's start with Sharol. So that's Sharol Carr-Saldivar. And she was the organizing mind behind it. She set it up. And she has been chairman, the founding chairman, for over a year, until we started hearing vibrations that she would be removed. And the minister, Karim Musa, told us in an interview she asked to be removed. Well, I have from very good sources, not spoken to her, but from sources around the ministry who says that she did not ask to be removed and she did not wish to be removed.
Oh, wow.
And this we are told, no, I am aware of what the minister said. The minister said she asked because she was overloaded. I hear you. However, sources are saying that she did not ask and she greatly resents being removed. And there is concern over why she was removed if, as it is claimed, she did not wish to be removed. So we want to know really why was she removed? And it has created some unhappiness in the ministry, some discord in the Ministry of Home Affairs and New Growth. Now, the new chairman will be Dr. Julio Sabido from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Okay, that's
He will be the chairman of the Firearms and Ammunition Control Board. When we spoke to him, he said he was looking for a CEO to put there. Well, he
Anybody.
found one.
Just anybody.
It's an administrative post. It's a board of 3 persons, a magistrate, a senior police officer, and a CEO. It's set up like this so that no one person controls gun licensing. But, we need a public explanation because this was a board that was born out of a calling, a requirement for greater transparency and controls in the issuance of gun licenses. When you change the chairman, the founding chairman, on the dubious or circumstances that are being called into question, a public explanation needs to be had. And there needs to be a joint press conference.
Yeah.
It will never happen, but I have to publicly manifest. There should be, in any rational democracy, a joint press conference with the new chairman and his minister to explain why and what we hope to do and how we will continue to ensure that the process remains transparent and that the controls stay in place. Let us be very clear and understand. The pressure of bad actors to get gun licenses is relentless. When one door is closed, they will try to break another open or create another.
Open a window, something.
It is not like you say, well, when I change the regulation, everybody say, all right, we don't want gun license again, then it's okay.
It's cool.
No, sir. Bad actors, unworthy persons, or persons who do not meet the standards, will continue to try and get gun licenses. And I'm sure they are continuing. So that's a tough post. We want to ensure that it remains invulnerable or unassailable by any bad actors. And transparency is required. So we're keeping a close eye on that. And we're hoping for answers from the always forthcoming Minister of Home Affairs.
yes.
Moving on, the Minister of Home Affairs, though.
Ooh,
Now let's talk about the special envoy. The names and
Yeah.
shams.
and shames.
Names and shames. Names and shames. The same police
The same
minister.
police
In an
minister.
unprecedented release, and guys, we have the picture of the release, in an unprecedented release last Wednesday, which was posted on the Special Envoy's Facebook page. It says, and if we can bring it closer,
Yeah, it
guys.
says the system failed this family.
Yeah,
That's
so
where it starts.
I have it here. So, it says, and I want us to understand what's happening here. This says the Office of Special Envoy expresses deep sorrow, etc. But it blames specifically the police department. And it says, this tragedy never should have happened. She did everything right. She asked for help. She sought protection. She trusted the system, yet the very system that was meant to keep her children safe failed them completely. We strongly condemn. And the failure of the Belize Police Department and justice system, amen, to protect this family. Right? All right, so this is great. She's calling out the police department and And let us be clear, the justice system.
Yes.
Right? Because there is that failed to give a restraining order.
Yeah.
So 3 innocent lives are gone because of a failure to act in the best interest of this family. Wow, this is strong stuff, right? And she says at the end of that page that, you know, they've given several trainings to police and military officers across Belize. These trainings were meant
To help the officers.
to help the officers, right? And it goes on to page 2 there. These were meant to help the officers, and we are deeply frustrated. Despite all the sessions, despite all the training, some officers and institutions do not fully understand the most basic part, right? And then it goes on. It's disheartening to consider that the phone operators at 911, which is a police service, the Office of the Special Envoy calls for immediate accountability from the Belize Police Department. No, this is unprecedented, right? That the Office of the Special Envoy, which is the Prime Minister's wife, which is essentially a department of the government of Belize, is calling out another department, calling for immediate accountability, right? For the police departments, the courts, and all institutions. Amen. All right. This cannot be another case we talk about for a few days and forget. Strengthening the national system, etc. And it says in the last paragraph, this is what is unbelievable, unprecedented in Belize's political history. The Prime Minister's wife, in a statement, says, if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please call Minister Karim Musa and the Commissioner of Police. Call them directly. It only left him to get a number, as the Prime Minister did for the good Jaime. Only left him to get a number. That is unprecedented territory for the Prime Minister's wife to essentially name and shame a police minister, no, a minister of government. One of her husband's cabinet members, publicly calling them out by their name. It's exceptional because throughout the thing it says the justice system failed. So call out Louise Blenman, call out the Chief Justice. That's how she couldn't get the restraining order. Not that you know, there's anything, sadly, that will stop a madman.
Very true.
But there's no calling out the Minister of Human Development, Family and Women and Family Services, Thea Garcia. She wasn't called out. The Chief Justice wasn't called out, who administers the entire legal system. But Karim Musa was called out.
Yeah.
The Commissioner of Police was called out.
Yeah. I also think the fact that they mentioned call these folks is like you need to call them for something to be done about it, because your regular people at the office are unable to provide you the adequate service that you need. It's like it's a culture where you have to call the minister for something to get done
For the
too,
top
right?
level, because
That's why I also
obviously-
get from it.
But, and that puts such pressure on the Prime Minister, because it's saying an entire department of your government, my husband, your government, my husband, right? An entire department of your government has broken down. This is the largest department. It has 2,600 officers.
Yeah.
It has broken down so badly that you can't call anybody. Call Karim. Call Rosaro. It's
It's a big statement.
it's a big statement. It's unprecedented, and it's almost like, you know, if Kim Barrow were still special envoy, no, even she would have put out a statement like that against PUP. Right? It's like, wow, that's crazy. You to call out a minister, say, oh, no, call he. That's his fault. No call Louise Blenman, no call Thea.
It's like, it's direct. It's very direct too, as well, in that stance
No.
towards him.
Of course. Now this comes in a month that we have seen unbearable, unthinkable, incomprehensible violence against women. 5 femicides this month,
Yeah.
and there were some more acts of domestic violence that we've seen this weekend, or not domestic violence, gender-based violence against women. One in Orange Walk, well, 2 in the Orange Walk district. However, and this is a very fine line I walk here. I understand the special envoy is from Orange Walk. I understand this unbelievable tragedy in San Felipe has deeply impacted that district because you have monsters in your midst.
Yeah.
Anybody who would set their own children on fire, Francisco Godoy is the culprit, now deceased. Set your own children ablaze and your ex-wife. Is in a very frightening state of derangement. However, I have to put it out there that I understand the special envoy has great compassion for all women victims, as we do, as we all do. But had this happened in the city, I don't know if we would have seen that same statement because we had a number of femicides in the city already this month. All of them tragic and unbearable in their own way, and we can see their faces here. All of them tragic and unbearable in their own way. All of them. But I do not know that, I will note then that, the statement was about that awful case in Orange Walk. But overall, I have to commend the special envoy for her courage and her boldness. I would wish everyone would emulate that model. I find it unusual that only the Minister of Police was named, but respect to her courageousness, her boldness, and her outspokenness. Either with that.
Yes.
Either with that.
Calling it out.
Yes. But if you're going to call, you have to call everybody involved. It begs questions when only one person is called out. Well, one person and Richard Rosado. But,
And I think just to look at the idea of calling out specifically the Minister for Home Affairs, the point of how people have been calling the 911 and not been able to get any kind of response. And we've seen numerous persons on my timeline, I can see and vouch for, that have been in similar situations that show screenshot the call logs of not being able to get through. And so I think just to push, because yes, I understand completely justice system, human development, everything, but when you come to like that first responder, a person that's supposed to be able to, when the thick is on, these are the people that you would call to support in the moment they're not able to provide that. So I think maybe that is why there's a push to as well for calling them specifically out, because in the first line of needing to get that support, they have not been able to activate, if you want to call it, or respond to as well. And that's a scary thought for many people, that when they see you're calling 911, they hang up on you, or you can't
Or they
get
say
through.
they're gonna come and they never reach.
Or yes, like,
And that's where I see where the proposal from Senator Sheena Pitt saying that there should be a domestic violence unit
exactly.
that will specifically address this issue. I can see where the police could be overwhelmed with the a number of calls you're getting, but it goes specifically to this, then maybe you'll be able to get a better response if you have a unit specifically to be able.
well, we have a domestic
We have a
violence
domestic
unit.
violence unit.
It was a domestic, the court.
Court.
Yeah, the court.
She's calling for a court. But I agree, they're probably, with this alarming number of femicides and gendered violence against women, we do need some special mechanism
There needs to be.
for women, right? Now we know relationships are complicated, and it's
And they're often judged by the battered woman syndrome, right? It's like, oh, you're gonna go back to it. So like, why should we even turn and go and get your help?
right.
But regardless, people still need that support.
That is true.
Continuously, not just okay
Yeah.
for the first report, and
Yeah.
then because I drop it, the next two, you don't want to support me or whatever it is, because you never know if the fourth one is the one that they really stick with because you were not paying attention. What happens then?
But the whole thing is wrong, right?
The whole thing.
Let me explain.
Tell me, I can hear it.
If every day, and I will make it brief, if every day Mr. Mendez comes here, Miss Renata, and unthinkable though it is, does some act of violence or unkindness to you, whether mental or physical, right? And you all are bound together in this relationship. It makes no sense for me to come every day and console you and empower you and encourage you to stop working here. Because that's the same thing when you're asking people to leave a relationship. There are economics involved, there's survival involved. You have to stop working again. You have to left this place. But I know to talk to him, because he's a monster. I'm not talking to him. You can't talk to man. Then a dog and then a monster. And then they act like how they program for act. I am addressing the wrong problem.
Yeah.
The problem is boys. The problem is men that from a very young age they are carrying an emotional load. Take lick, boy. We make for take lick, for we name that take lick. Take lick. You could take lick, man. You take that. You could take any lick. And the boy just say, yeah, they take it. Eventually, they can't take all the lick there. They're gonna explode.
That's true.
So if every day a violence is done to you and I'm saying, well, I'm going to educate you, Renata, you ain't get a master's, you don't have to work here again. You could left here. You could leave this economic situation. That's the wrong problem. I have to talk to him or his son. Because men are the problem. I accept that. But I'm saying that men are the problem because men have been made to fulfill an emotional model that's insupportable. Nobody in their whole life could say, take lick from your young, take lick. Eventually, I can't take lick again and I give lick. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, we have to look at our boys and our men. We are the problem because we are told internalize everything until you explode. I spoke to Dr. Herbert Gale this weekend. He was kind enough to give an interview even when Hurricane the bear down pane. And we'll hear that in the news later, but that's basically what he's saying as well. You know that there's only so much emotional burden a man as a regular human being. There's nothing special in our programming. Our programming is special insofar as we know how to catch and kill. We're hunters, we're gatherers, we're providers. However, it does not mean we're emotionally invulnerable. It doesn't mean we don't feel pain. It doesn't mean we don't want to talk about it. It doesn't mean we don't want love.
That's true.
But that's a much bigger issue, of which I am no expert.
Yeah.
Anyway, you all can see Dr. Gale on the news this
Yeah,
evening.
now let's talk about this San Narciso police station that will cost $300 per square foot.
Yeah, so we got a release last week. The new police station in San Narciso, they said the cost is $928,509, and it will provide over 3,000 square feet, right? So 3,000 square feet is the number. But when I do the calculation on that, what strikes me is that's $310 per square foot. Now, I just want to give an example that, and we have this on our, I just want to give an example. And that's the contractor there, Mr. Vega. LV, I think, is the name of the company, Liborio, I believe. And I want to question, because when you're doing construction, I know the price has gone up, and I am no expert, but I think it's like on San Pedro, it costs $250 to $275 per square foot, which is the most expensive because everything has to be taken out there. So I'm concerned, or I have to raise a flag when I see that a public building will be in San Narciso on the mainland will be $310, over $300 per square foot. So it's not something, we were not invited, so we couldn't ask the question at the event. Of course we're not invited. Nobody want the media wrong when the cake they cut.
We tell you when the time to tell you, even if we tell you.
Well, they sent video after. That's as good as we got. But I'm just saying, it raises a question about the cost per square foot. It's irregular. It's high. Maybe there's a justification. I'm not saying anything wrong, but anything is wrong. But a flag has to be raised. They say, and that's the model for what they expect the police station to look like. It will serve, we are told, 40,000 people in adjoining communities. Great, supported. But, you know, questions do have to be raised about it. You know, we are, this young man that died this weekend, we have a problem staffing. We have a human resource issue, right? And it's difficult working for government, I know that. but we have a young man, Sean Armstrong, who died this weekend. You know, he died after an accident, and I believe the accident was a murder. I know the police are trying to classify it as a RTA because they're trying to avoid. October has been a terrible month for murders, sadly, and they're trying to make things that are murders into sudden deaths or into accidents. Sean Armstrong died, and I don't believe he was able to get proper orthopedic care. His hand was mangled, and I don't believe he was able to get proper orthopedic or urgent care at the Western Regional, because we know that there is need for, or apparently there's need for orthopedic surgeon. I have heard reports of a young man who went with a broken hand and got an appointment in January. When you know a broken hand has to be dealt with, has to be set immediately.
Yeah.
We're having a problem staffing, finding internists, other things for our public healthcare system. At the same time, the government says, you know, we're building out, we're training staff for San Pedro. It's urgently needed. I understand. But, you know, we're opening up a new hospital in Belmopan as well, or they plan to build one, but where will the professional staff come from? Right? The government has we don't have the capacity perhaps, or maybe people don't want to work for the government. It's become harder than ever over time to work for the government for various reasons. And also a big part of the reason is pay, right? A starting medical officer earns maybe $36,000 or $38,000 annually after you just invested 6 years, 7, 8 years of your life in medicine.
Because you're not
But
specialized, so yeah.
we really, you know, where the system is under pressure. And that's why I saw, and I'm rambling, but I saw that the government said that they put out a cabinet briefing saying they want to lower the cost of pharmaceuticals, right? Make drugs more accessible. Again, supported. But then they have to end the pharmaceutical mafia, which I have seen happening for at least the past 25 years. The ever escalating cost of pharmaceuticals in our country. It's off the charts now. It's in the tens of millions of dollars. And that is because the middlemen, there are ways to do it, to access it through regional mechanisms made for this, right? Made for supplying affordable pharmaceuticals to member countries of PAHO, etc. There are mechanisms for it, but we're not interested in the mechanism. We are interested in a profit for private importers, for middlemen who make the money, middlemen. So if the government had put out saying that we are going to revert to the Comisca mechanism for the acquisition of pharmaceuticals, then I would say, all right, I could see
right direction.
you're going, but no. All they're saying is we want to reduce prices. We're going to talk about it. Well, there's a mechanism available, but that mechanism would mean abandoning let me find a delicate way to say it. Abandoning the system which has enriched many importers over decades, and the pigs are eating at the trough more than ever. They're feasting at the trough. But let's move on.
Let's move
Move
on.
on. Let's talk a little bit about some of the most important questions to talk about when it comes to the hydro dams and the future of it.
Yeah, so I know we raised the subject of the hydro dams last week. I know we raised the issue of the hydro dams last week, and I just want to emphasize as we move forward with this, because it's coming more clearly into focus that the government intends to pass on all the commercial advantages that Fortis had in a inequitable and exploitative commercial arrangement from a multinational that was, I believe, and it started with Dominion Energy many years ago. I believe it was intrinsically bad The dams are good, but I think that the relationships have been intrinsically bad because they have put a disproportionate burden on Belize's resources. And I think that the government intends to pass those on, right? To pass those on to whoever buys the company, and which means, as I mentioned, freedom from all taxes, fine, rights to the river. I have a problem with that. Somebody at some point has to start saying, what is in the public interest? Because all you're going to do is saying that now we have an opportunity for this company that has milked us, that has pumped us dry. Let us turn this, let us find new slave masters.
Just put it in somebody else's
New masters. New flesh for the old ceremony of exploitation and maximization of profits over public interest. Nothing can outweigh the public interest. It is our river. You must pay for it. It is our river. You cannot have domain over our river. And the Prime Minister has not addressed this. Who will have the domain? Because Fortis had the domain. Fortis had a clause that said, oh, no, can't build no other dam. Nowhere. We got domain over Fiona River. So I'm saying, yes, it is to be praised that we are no longer having to pay in foreign exchange hard currency to import our own energy from Newfoundland. Praise. However, it cannot be that after all these years of exploitation and natural resource plunder, that we simply pass on all the benefits to the new masters of our natural resources. There has to be a public interest recognized that people require a lower cost of energy, that people require some advantage from the harnessing, use, and exploitation of their natural resource. That Macau River, that we, no company can own that. On the one that you have to pay. If you not pay, we have to get something back. We have to get a lower cost of energy. That is our river. It is a treasured resource. It is so many countries would wish to have such a bountiful resource. But all along the line, and just to use it, BWS, use it, Crystal Water, use it, Fortis, use it. Man, at some point you have to give something back to the river.
I mean, it's with all resources, Jules. If you look at mining, for instance, how many of the mining goes to like the village where they're mining from, if we were to talk
Very
about
true.
that?
Very true.
It's all in the capitalistic mindset where the natural resource is there for exploitation. There's nothing that says we're going to get back something from it.
Very good point. Very good point. Because it's a colonialist system. It's a colonialist thinking.
Yeah.
It's the same thinking of those who came to extract logwood, extract mahogany, pump it, empty it, and then only figure out the rest.
That is true. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a colonialistic mindset, and we have to, all this talk of decolonizing, put George Price and Philip Goldsmith on the money. It means nothing. It's just meaningless symbolism when we are perpetrating the same colonialistic systems that have worked so well for the colonial master, and then the political masters come and say, boy, we could use it now. Make we broke it up. Make we do the same. I'm be the king though. I'm a minister. I'm going to be the king. I'm going to hold my land clinic on the corner of the king. You want something from king? Let us give you. Call the subjects in. Ridiculous. Go from here. Go from here. Tired of this system.
Yeah. Jules, now let's talk about this big contract with the city council.
Big grass cutting? What?
So, this is very premature information, and I'm just putting it together, but we intend to ask if the council has given out a contract, a weekly contract, or billed weekly for the cutting of grass in the city. We know that maintaining the city's various medians, green spaces, etc., is quite a task. And I know the city has struggled with having its own team of people to do this, but it's within the realm of the possible. But I think that reliable reports indicate that they are contracting it out to a politically preferred contractor, right? you know how the system works.
Hopefully they're not a nurse, Jules.
Oh,
What?
Hopefully
It's not a nurse.
maybe they want doctor this time.
More and more, it's a
Maybe they want
politician.
doctor this
It's not a
time.
nurse who cut the grass, sir.
One, so maybe they
But
want doctor
that,
this time.
you know, reliable information, and we have to confirm it, that somebody in the political circles
Somebody friends, some
is
support.
receiving a contract for 33,000 per week. Again, I'm not confirming this. This is my report from a good source. A 5-year contract. A 5-year contract for the maintenance of the cut the grass, which would be work out to, you know, over 100 a month. Again, we intend to ask the mayor and we intend to find out the truth of it. But if it is true, it would be scandalous in the extreme, especially awarding it to somebody in the political circles. But I'm told the Prime Minister is beholden to this person, wants to be kind to them. So we will have to see. If it is the case, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there. We'll have to see where it goes. And my goodness, we're way over time.
Yes, so we
Quickly.
have one last topic to talk about. Let's talk about Chris Koye's quiet departure. On
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, Chris Koye, the Prime Minister had the court now so hard for get down for be Minister of State again. Had to wait out. Why can't do the thing now? We want you, we need you, we love you. And he came and he did it for 6 months. And the Prime Minister has literally walked away from our cameras when we asked him about it. It's unacceptable. You publicly begged him. You made a big show of it. Well, now you must answer, why is Chris Koye? Because he took weeks to sign.
Who was the last one to sign?
He was way after. He's special. He get the one signing. He called the Governor General, you ready at the con? Put on your hat. My point is that I'm saying that the Prime Minister made so much, saying he was so important to government. Well, now he's gone, sir. Why won't you speak on it? Why won't you even issue a press release? Then just put a little line in the cabinet that the line, as I recall, we say goodbye to Chris with a kiss. That's all I saw. I don't, but no, I'm kidding. I kid. But my point is that the Prime Minister has insistently dodged answering any questions on Chris Koye's departure. The public wants to know. He still remains a senator, but we want to know, how is it that Chris Koye left after so few months? And who's going to take his place? You said he was so important. Who's going to do that work now? The Ministry of Finance is on autopilot. Or AI to run it. AI and JW, Joe Wade. But I'm just saying, it's of concern and it alarms me that the Prime Minister made so much. This is the top draft pick. We have to get her. He gone? We all right. We good. Autopilot the work. Yeah, got it. Yeah, the run Ministry of Finance.
Maybe Ali cake before he got it. I don't know.
Yes, maybe. I think he got a cake. I hope he got a cake. But you know, it's just glaring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've talked too much. Bye.
Jules. Definitely, there's stuff for people to stay tuned on the news for updates.
Yes, for sure.
I want to definitely look at that. But again, thank you so much, Jules, for your comments. You're good?
I'm calm.
Yeah.
You're calm.
Yeah.
110.60. 110.60. I'm super calm.
I will check it after this. We'll see if that's really the case. But with that, guys, we have a sunrise to give to you guys before we go on commercial break. Then, of course, we're going to go on a commercial break. We have a range of different conversations. This is from Corazal Tong, and this is from Henry Mencias.
Yes, you're right.
Or Mencias.
Menzies.
Menzies, sorry. So thank you so much for the submission, Henry.
Awesome.
We truly appreciate that. Gorgeous Corazal, they come in very big.
That is true.
With that, we're going to go to our first commercial break. And on our back, we dive into different conversations ranging from Creole Heritage Week and how it started and what you need to know about it, as well as reading rights with Miss Melissa talking about Hula Wilipa, but also the deeper dive into the effects of what that means of domestic violence, gender-based violence, etc.
Even Jules got featured on the.
Even Jules got featured them.
What's that?
On Huda Wilipa.
Oh, I want to big up everybody. Kuda Wilipa. I went to the play.
Everybody want to have Wilipa.
Yes, no,
He
the
don't know
play.
Wilipa. He don't know Wilipa. No.
I am not. But I want to big up all the Sunup people,
Yeah.
Angeline, Kevin, Mary Francis, who were on the show. It was awesome. It was so courageous and bold, addressing a very touchy issue in a humorous and accessible way. And I hope, I think, you know, it could have a meaningful effect,
I think
you know,
so.
by starting to talk about these things.
Yes, most
But yeah, I hope there's another showing. Is there another showing?
No,
And
that's it.
we'll see. Somebody will.
We'll work on
Somebody need to
something else.
sponsor it, guys. Guys out there who
That is true.
who has a little pocket that wants to be able to showcase and share to maybe move the show to Belma Pan or one place or so forth. We need funding for that. So, want to know who will find in the next district? Let's figure it out together.
That is true. We can make it happen.
But with that, guys, we're gonna go to our first commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023 in the
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Good morning, Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. It's time for us to get into an exciting conversation to talk about what to expect for Creole Heritage Week. Joining us on our couch to have this conversation and to know how can you engage and participate and benefit from this amazing opportunity, we have Wilford Felix, the president of the National Creole Council, joining us. Wilford, how are you doing today?
I do good.
How is your energy level from 1 to 10? It's a Monday.
Well, I hope my pressure they will pass Jules one day.
Yeah?
Yes.
I don't know if you want it with Jules Day.
We can check it, just so you know.
Well, you say the way you say it, eh?
110.60, no?
1
Yes,
10, 60.
that sounds good.
Do that on the one
That's
day.
my goal.
I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe that either.
Yeah. And we're also joined by Celine Solis, your treasurer at the National Creole Council. Celine, good morning.
Right, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm very good. My pressure, a little bit not so good, but okay. We're gonna get there, we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there.
How are you feeling about the National Creole Heritage Week? It started yesterday, it's this week.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
So maybe that's why my heart rate really elevated, right? That
That makes
excitement,
sense. Yeah.
right? That
Okay.
good pressure. So for the first time, I think, ever, the National Creole Council is spearheading what we're referring to as National Creole Heritage Week, right? So it's done to coincide with International Creole Heritage Day, which is tomorrow, the 28th of
okay.
October. So we isolated this entire week to sort of highlight what represents Creole culture in Belize Creole culture. So we're very excited to be showcasing our food, our traditions, our cultural heritage, our language, primarily on our Facebook platform, but also through other activities that have been happening since last week. So we don't try to give people brata, right?
right.
So it's not just about the week, really, but it's about bringing that attention to Creole culture, Creole heritage, Creole people, Creole history, Creole communities, Creole food, everything that makes up this whole landscape that is this particular, not just ethnic group, but tradition, culture, people, Belizeanness, because Creole culture is so associated with Belizeanness.
Very true.
That is
But
true.
it's so associated that sometimes we forget that it requires its own personal attention. You know, it's so inherent, it's so omnipresent, it's all over the place. We eat it every day, right? But in order to highlight that, we want to bring this week into focus, consistent with our global partners who are celebrating Creole Heritage Day globally.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You know, from what you shared, I can tell the importance of having this week, and I can tell how much you're connected with it too. You're very passionate about the reason for having this week from everything you shared. And we have to resonate with Lila Vernon that said, at some point said, you know, Creole has culture, right? So it's
Right.
important for us to be able to celebrate it, but also like allow people to, at some point we take it for granted, you know, like you said, it's in our food and everything we eat that we're like, oh, because I know talk Creole does not mean that I am not a part of it, if anything, right? So it's very, very beautiful what you shared, and makes us even more excited to find out what's taking place this week. Your social media is like, has me to twist my jaw, like reading all your things. And like, I am like, okay, let me take, let me take a break.
beat.
Yeah, but this is like super interesting. But the activity started yesterday. So can you give us an insight into what all can we expect to celebrate Creole Heritage Week?
Right. So again, I won't bring it back to last week, and this is when I'll bring in Wilford, because last week, Wednesday in the evening, we held a virtual Learn to Read and Write Creole language workshop. And so Wilford was the facilitator, and he can talk to you a little bit more about that.
Let's go. Tell me, boy.
Yes.
What you want to read and write and all of that way people can win day?
Well, the foundation of the workshop, that me one book or one workbook where Miss Sylvana Woods published some years ago called You Can Read and Write Creole.
Okay.
That was smally workbook. It did not take you 1 hour to go through it.
Okay.
Right? And it lays the foundation, it lays out the mechanics of how to read, write, and spell Creole. So the workshop went on for probably about 1 hour and 45 minutes, more or less.
Okay.
And so that's something where under 2 hours with one sizable group and giving everybody time to interact with the examples, you know, we could cover it in a less than 2 hours. So we talk about the consonant usage, the vowels usage, letters were not in a Creole, none at all, because they borrow song from other letters. Like X, we not got X in a Creole. We not got C in a Creole. We not got Q in a Creole. Because of the sound we make. And the consonants what we use already make their sound there, right? So, we're most exemplary participants in the workshop that my two young boys from LA.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
They're mother Belizean, but then a born American. And they may perform the best in the whole workshop.
And they understand everything. To be
They
able to...
understand everything because they might talk to them in a Creole. They just not talk it.
So they may get a chance to make their talk it too?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
And so when we work through the examples, and because what we may do, I will ask the question, then I put the answer in the chat, because we may do it per Zoom.
Okay.
Right? And so then they put the answer before everybody else. Sometimes then they put the answer before I don't ask the question.
Man.
So if Pickney, we grew up that America could know if you read and write Creole, we were the right here, could do it too. The main thing where they stop with, that this,
Yeah.
we think it hard, so it become hard. But the advantage where we got, that because we don't talk Creole already, so then I just for understand how you say this, you know what spell it T-H-I-S, because T-H make the D song. So you spell it with an D. The concept in a writing Creole, that one letter, one song. So that's why we don't use Q.
Because I got the K.
If you spell Q, you will spell it K-Y-O-O. That Q. Take your time and say it slow.
Yeah, I don't know Q.
Q. Right?
Okay.
So, I intend to make we do some more workshop. I intend to make we do some live video. And we will put it on the social media. So even before we get into the workshop, we could kind of
gauge it and know
gauge
what
the thing a little bit. So we could call with someone who one Creole writing, and then we could fully translate it to Creole for now.
Right.
Man, okay.
So why that's important, bringing it back to Creole Heritage Week now, is that was a precursor activity because the Creole Council is sponsoring a poem competition. This is where you go on Facebook and to twist up your mouth, sure, because we put the rules of the competition in English and in Creole. Now, we want submissions to come in the Creole language using the standard orthography, right? So Wilford's work was a precursor to prepare people to be able to submit these submissions.
Gotcha.
So as part of National Creole Heritage Week, guys, there is a poem competition for adults, high school students, primary school students. There's one winner per category. The deadline for submissions is the 30th. And it's very simple. Just go on Facebook, upload your poem in standard Creole spelling orthography, right? And you can use the National Creole Council or the dictionary,
I just want the dictionary.
the Creole English Dictionary. If you just want to check in, make sure you spell everything correct because it's intuitive, but you still have to come back to a reference, right? And that's why having the dictionary is so important and that work is so important. So we would like to see your submissions uploaded on Facebook. Tag us, the National Creole Council, and we will reshare. And we will have a panel of judges, including Creolists, Creole language experts, who will be looking at the poems and evaluating. And of course, Creole, we want it written, but it's a spoken language. I think you feel it the most when you're talk it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right? It's just.
I know people will literally can't even present well without they really bust into their proper Creole for
Exactly.
like feel it properly.
It have your own energy.
Yeah.
So while it's a written poem competition, we want you writing a Creole. We welcome spoken word submission. So please upload your video too because we know the language is largely oral. It's appreciated at its best when it's spoken, right?
Gotcha.
You can read it, you interact with it, yes, but when you add the flavor, that energy is when you really appreciate it because the energy comes from how we express ourselves in our Belizean language, right? So that's the highlight, I would say, of the week, our poem competition. But in addition to that, we'll be sharing a lot of information, tidbits. You mentioned Leela Vernon, who said Creole Nagano culture. Her
And that's
birthday
the
was
theme
last week.
of the poem competition.
Exactly. So who said
Yes.
Creole Nagano culture? I know me, no you, certainly, but we want to know how people explore that theme, right? And it's open to people from any background, any community, any ethnicity, because you quite say it, right? We all experience Belizeanness and Creoleness and Creolehood, you know, if not in our own homes, when we go out, when we interact with our friends,
have
when
to
we're
be kind
in
of get it.
school. Exactly. You're exposed to it. It's part of our everyday. So anybody is open to make a submission.
I want me to educate somebody right now in the comments because they're saying, like when Wilfred was talking about how there's some letters that are not in it, in the language, right? And they're saying because of that, it's not a language without certain letters having it to be complete. Educate us on that as to why it actually still is a language, regardless of not having the Q, the C, and the which other one?
X.
And the X out of it, excluded.
Well, first thing I want to say is we promote the Creole language as part of our Belizean decolonization because statements like that is coming from, no disrespect to the person who say it because I know she won't say it, but statements like that is coming from a colonized mind who put the colonizer's standard as primary. Other language they other than English, when I use one, lot of the letters were in English. Take, for example, Cantonese and Mandarin, Arabic.
Spanish.
We don't have to go that far.
Right?
far. They have their own, the Enya, they have languages with letters with accents, tildes, you know. It's really comes back to what Wilfred is saying. I think it's historically what we've been taught is this is the standard.
Right.
This is the preferred. This is how you present yourself in a positive or professional way. Well, I think over decades, as we become post-colonial Belize, post-independence Belize, as we establish our national identity, we know different, right? And that's why it's important to bring a week like this into focus, because you hear comments like that, and we welcome comments like that too, because we have to refute it. We need to remove that from the mindset.
It helps to build the overall conversation.
I make people understand a little bit better to us.
Exactly.
Well.
Like it's a welcome comment, it's a welcome conversation, and we appreciate the opportunity to have the conversation because it's not had openly enough.
That's true.
So, Creole is a complete language because it has what is referred to as morphology, the way how it grows and evolves as people interact with it. It borrows it shares syntax with English. This is why most of the letters are English letters from the English alphabet. And it also shares a lot with African languages and African pronunciations. This is why the vowels in a Creole, by default, is the short sound. So when we will look at letter A and might want to read that as A, in a Creole, A say A, E say E, I say E, O say O, U say O, right? Don't forget the long A, that one be A, Y. Forget the other long A as in father and water, that one be A, A. Forget the long I, as in I or right, that one be AI.
Yeah.
Not artificial intelligence, though.
We're following up with it with the topic
The language
here.
of the part
This is very legitimate. Nothing
For instance,
artificial there.
So
on the flyer for the competition, like you spell student STYOODENT, and I'm like, okay,
Student.
student, right?
Kevin like watches it and he's
Yeah, I am just amazed. Like competition, like KAMPETISHAN. I'm like, okay,
one letter, one song.
right.
Now, this is a concept that I learned from Miss Myrna, God rest her soul. She used to say that we generally struggle with English at school because we're not thinking in English. We're thinking in Creole. So we would benefit more if we learn English as a second language rather than learn English as a primary language. And because we learn English as a primary language, that's why with sister and others take that position. And because of the colonization of our heritage, that will make people promote the idea that Creole and our language and Creole and our culture. Now, that song from Miss Lila, this is what inspired that song. Miss Lila had a dance group, the Ebolites, and then they going to do a show at our cultural event. And somebody from another ethnic group pull one of Miss Lila dancer aside and say, but what you do here? Only not got no culture.
There you go.
Interesting.
And so Miss
I bet you
Lila
never
get
heard that
vexed.
before.
No. Miss Lila get vexed and who gonna write the song.
There you go.
I like how her
love
vexness
it. I love it how that was
make
like.
a whole song.
That's such a-
Everybody could
that's
You're
such a
most
great
productive
list.
when you're vexed. So,
Yes.
poem competition. Anybody get your vex this week? You go in and you lash them out in one poem. I just to say, I have to plug it.
How long it need to be? In the thing?
So it's in
Yes.
the instructions there. It's by lines,
Yeah.
right? So depending on the category
Level.
that you're in, the level, adults have a longer line set. I believe that it's 30, 25, and
20.
Adults is 30 lines, secondary schools is 25, and primary schools is 20 lines.
exactly,
Okay, perfect.
right? So, and of course, a line of poem could have 5 words, 4 words, 3 words. You know, be creative, explore it, and that is to keep us within a framework so people don't feel like they have to do the most. You know, just go and express yourself in the way that you feel that you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. So Celine, tell us what other activities are taking place this week for our folks to engage in.
So from Saturday, I want to backtrack. Sorry, it's from Saturday. We had some cultural expositions or presentations at the Big Savers Save event
Super Save.
out at the Belize City Council downtown here. So there were performances, drumming, dancing on both stages. So that's why we had a librata.
Very good.
Right, so this week again, it's a poem competition, and then it's information blast, largely digital. So we'll be sharing information about all aspects of the culture, especially those things that people might not know, either the language about people who have Creole people of Creole background, from Creole communities that will be, that have contributed to Belize and our Belizean landscape. And it's really just to open up the conversation for what we will continue to be doing, and we'll be highlighting some of the work that we do as well. So it's really to have that focus, digital focus for now, with an objective to grow into multi-activities into the future, a festival possibly, you know, Creole communities globally have been having festivals, presentations, right? So Wilford will also be doing demonstrations whenever he can throughout the course of the week, and we'll be highlighting that, right?
Okay.
One of which he will be able to do today, I hope.
Okay.
If we have time.
Before we get into that, can you share with us where can people find all this interaction?
So definitely it's on our National Creole Council Facebook page. So that's our primary outlet. That's where you'll be seeing all the information. But then we also have our National NKC of Belize, so WhatsApp group. So we share blasts on there as well. That one is a more closed space. However, we welcome anybody who is interested in Creole heritage, Creole culture, Creole communities, comes from a Creole community, to reach out to us on Facebook, and we will be adding you there on WhatsApp. It's a place where conversation happens. It's a place where we share information. It's a place where we learn and teach each other. It's a place where we encourage Creolehood or Creole-ness, let's say.
I love it.
I love
Yes.
that. Somebody had asked for some advice here, right? They say, would you recommend we write the poem in English and then translate it to Creole, or write it in a Creole, then like that, just do the Creole straight through? What are your recommendation?
Not a good one. Not a good one.
Now, good question, right? I like how people are so interactive in here
know.
too as well. People are really like a fan of everything that's happening.
At this juncture, we're more proficient in English than in a Creole. So if that's more comfortable for you, write it in English so that you could get your full thoughts process, to make you could get a full idea out, and then work on translate it to Creole.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That makes
To help you translate it to Creole, you could download the Creole, the second edition of the Creole Dictionary from the Access 501 hub. So you don't have to go all over the place to search for it. Google Creole Dictionary 501 Academy, and the link for it will come up.
Yeah, definitely.
They're right there. And I'll be honest, sitting on a couch, you can see the variety across the language. So it's a really relevant question. If anybody who understands Creole languages, not just our Creole, but globally, it exists on a continuum, right? So there is the acrolect version, the one that's maybe closest to the source language. In our case, it's English. I would say I am on that end of the spectrum. As we continue and you listen to Wilford, he speaks Basilec, which is the closest, most truest form of the Creole language. But all in between, there are varieties, right? And that's what's important about having a dictionary, having orthographies, having these rule books, because they bring us closer to formalizing and understanding that Basilec, our Creole, what is it, right? But that doesn't mean we don't appreciate all varieties along this continuum, from one end to the end and everything in between. That's what being Creole in Belize is, from complexion, hair type, how you look, how you talk, how you spell, how you dress, how you eat. It's about appreciating the continuum in between and understanding what all of that represents.
Thank you for saying that. I felt so seen there. Because I'm navigating it still.
All of it to
So, thank
navigate,
you.
all of it to navigate.
Everybody to figure it out. And then the more we talk about it, the conversations that we have like this, help people feel like get closer to it, understand more, and ask more questions. So I never know if we don't ask the question, that we can't sit down in our spot and think we know or just not want to know or afraid for no, sorry.
Right.
What that answer, just ask. But this is why they need to go on the social medias for you guys, because only the post up all of the good stuff there.
All the goodies.
All the goodies.
Of the week and afterwards, and even beyond this week, little things going on in the background. We're doing work with the Gales Point community, which is because of its location and because it was so inaccessible for a long time, has preserved or safeguarded a lot of the truest representations of Creole practices and Creole culture, right? Some that might have been practiced in other communities over historically, but because of how the world works, globalization, movement, migration, they might have changed or transformed or transitioned. Culture is living, so it moves, but Gales Point has something very unique there in their cultural practices and traditions, and we've been working along with them, and there's some really big news about that coming later in the year. So outside of this week,
All right, so better join us on the couch again to talk about it.
follow, come up. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, but folks, definitely you're encouraged to go to the National Creole Council, their Facebook page. For me, just going and seeing the writing, I am like, I am always fascinated, right? Heritage, Heritij, and I'm like, how? But you know, it's
Say it slow.
heritage.
Break it down into syllables.
Heritage.
Heritage. That's what you're saying in Creole.
Yeah.
So it literally, it's pronounced like it's spelled the way it's
how you
pronounced.
say, that's how you spell it.
Belize,
One letter, one song.
Yeah, I am like I follow it. So like I always go and I just like So like the other day I did a challenge with my friends. Like we had like a whole statement, and I'm like I challenge everybody to read it in Creole.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting exercise with my friends, but it's just really beautiful to see, you know, and it keeps you like your Belizeanness, your identity like very present, which you absolutely love. Folks, we thank you so much for joining us today. Do we have any last words that you'd like to share? Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, another big conversation we don't start happen.
Tell me.
What the Creole? So not only are we making efforts to standardize the language, but we're also exploring the definition of what is Creole.
I like that. Because
now-
I feel like that's something where many people grapple with to try and understand how to explain it to other people out there when I go
Isn't
there.
like Creole like a colonizer term also? Because I'm thinking like mestizo, right? Mestizo is a colonizer term, which is a mix of...
It means the middle people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So isn't Creole like that?
Yes. When you go to the dictionary, the oldest definition of the word Creole, the Creole with the C, means a European born in the colonies. Yes. So that's a part of why, through the National Creole Council, we change the spelling
With the key.
with the key to assert our identity as Afro-Indigenous people. Now that our term where we want to explore, figure out a bigger conversation to connect Belize Creole to the rest of the Afro-Indigenous population in the region. Because we got cousin to family that Nicaragua. We got cousin to family that San Andres.
That's true. The other day was somebody from Colombia speaking Creole.
Yes, San Andres, Colombia.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what he's
There you go.
talking
So
about,
there's
yeah.
definitely a lot of things to be looking forward to coming from the National Creole Council.
Yes.
So we're definitely we look forward to our next time on the couch, and maybe the next time we're gonna have the drums playing. Fortunately, we're out of time.
Next time I'll come back, you will play this drum.
All right, I'm down for it.
Watch it,
I'm down for it.
Yeah,
Yes.
make sure Brandon was up on the coach that day.
I will be here. I will be here.
Okay,
Don't worry.
all
I
right.
will not shy away from this.
All right,
There's
good.
one thing I appreciate, immersing into Creole
Yeah.
and getting to practice.
Bet,
Because
it's
hey,
done.
I'm Belize.
Yes.
I am Belize. We're Belize.
So we're
Everybody's
fun.
Belize.
You all do this thing for him? Because
Yes.
we're in and then we're going off into a commercial.
Definitely. So we thank you so much for joining us, and follow the National Creole Council Facebook page for more.
Yes.
It's all yours. Go for it.
I wanna know who said Creole no got no culture. I wanna know who said Creole no got no tribe. And when them bring we all the way from Southwest Africa, and they land we on this Caribbean shore. They may bring the Shango, the Congos, and the Zulu. They may even
The sleepless nights, the long days, the massive sacrifice. There is something in us that is not hypothetical. It has been tested and proven. This defiant, resilient spirit runs through the veins of our people. You come from a long line of fighters and heroes and heroines, and some of them are sitting right here in these bleachers. They had to do so much with so little to get you to where you are today. Success and titles and defeat are imposters. They don't last forever. Who you are deep down inside, now that's forever. Your family is forever. Your community is forever. Love is forever. So love deeply. Love people more than things. Love your family. Love your friends. Love your community. Love your country. Love yourself, because you matter. Please give yourself a round of applause.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Pony Drive in Belize City. That's right on Pony Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning, the
Northern
2023 in the
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Shiri Culsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. We go back and we have a great conversation waiting for you. This weekend, it was the premiere of Huda Wilipa, which left a very, very impactful message throughout the community to talk about gender-based violence, supporting women. And today we continue the conversation with the founder of Reading Rights, Ms. Melissa Castellanos Espat, who was the creative mind behind Huda Wilipa, talking about, what the message was about and continue on that great conversation. Before we get into that, Miss Melissa, how are you doing today? How is your Friday energy?
Yeah.
I mean, your Monday energy.
Monday
Friday
energy.
I already feel like a
Friday
Friday.
already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Monday energy is a bit low for now. I'm tired. We had a really busy weekend. A busy month, actually, right?
Because practicing back to back.
we have been practicing, and I think the week before it was every single night, and it was late nights, and just to perfect what we wanted to capture on stage. And it was successful. I would say it was very successful. I had an amazing team, amazing team, from makeup artists all the way down to the actors and the sounds and light. Oh my gosh. I told our sound and light team, the JC's sound and lights, they did the magic. They had to be the ones who did the magic, because we knew the script. They knew the script. They knew who their characters were, but it had to be them that gave that extra touch, shifting from present to past, because it was a flashback, starting in the present, and then you remember what happened, and then boom, to the past. And then the lights were all like a very much bar. We're not going to say the word because Teresa said it the last time. It was a Maria bar. And then it moves over to the present, very still. And even the lighting, you could see light and dark. The light, there's hope. The dark, that's when something is going to happen. And hopefully all these elements, the audience saw it and appreciated it. And I think for the most part they did. I know that whatever was displayed there, artistically, it was what I expected. And it was a really good turnout. I have to applaud the audience that came out. We were very impressed. Like, so many people came out to appreciate it. Maybe Kevin had like the entire second tier just for him.
I think so.
I think so.
Everybody just been wants to Kevin in action too.
Yes,
as well.
and they didn't realize what he was gonna do, but he killed it too. I think they were thinking. I had coworkers who were telling me they thought that Kevin was a baby daddy.
Yeah, I had
They
a lot
may
of,
think
there,
so?
there were a lot
They
of
were
people that thought I
betting.
was going to be the dad, especially how they said I was going to come back for Sharona. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, he's not out yet. He's going to come back still.
So there were bets going on, and it was either him or Paul Lopez. They're either of them were the dads, and the other guys, they were too young. And then Tremet Perriot, he's too old. And that's what we wanted. And we kept teasing people, Huda Wilipa, Ida Wilipa. I think Destiny Wagner started the whole trend, Ida Wilipa. So from there on, all of us were Ida Wilipa, Ida Wilipa. And we had to make it humorous. We had to make that feel of, it's a fun, and it was fun, yes. Like what Sharona said, I did have fun to get people to come and see it, right? That the trends that we were setting, all the little snippets of, of all fun. And one thing that Belizeans do love is comedy at theater.
Yeah.
And so it was very scary. When I first presented the idea to the entire cast, I had a first meeting. I said, drink liquor. No, listen to what I have. Tell me if you're into it. Get inebriated first. And I explained to them what the entire concept was. At the time, I think it was Minister Thea Garcia who said there's an imbalance of power. A case came up and she said it is based on an imbalance of power. And that was when I started thinking, that's how Sharona, I mean, I had a different idea for Sharona and Willis Pa. And then I thought, let's just do it. Let's go crazy and let's create this concept of the imbalance of power and how do we as a society deal with it. And, when I presented it to them, I was scared because I said, okay, you have a chance, leave. You can leave if you don't want to do this, but are we in? I think Kevin was one of them. He said, yeah.
I feel like that was like two things that I maybe say yes was one, the fact that I've never done like playing or acting. And then when you say, Kevin, I want you to be, and I'm like, if you see that in me, I'm sold, right? Because I highly respect the work that you do. And I'm like, if you see it, I'm sold. But the next thing is the message that we wanted to put out there, as a human rights activist, doing social justice, what was presented, I was like, I connect with this and I want to contribute to that message. So for the folks that were unable to come this weekend to Huda Wilipa, what was the message that you were trying to put out there?
Again, the theme is the imbalance of power of, we talk about gender-based violence. Yes, it's a bigger picture, but it's really the focus of women who protect each other. And we rarely see that women will stand up and say, no, it's not your fault, or come, let me help you. We tend to blame. And as unfair as it is, we women do that to ourselves too.
Yeah.
You have the fault because you went. The foil character, her name is Nanette, played by Mary Frances Espat. My daughter.
I know.
I'm so proud of her.
I never saw she now. Then a big pants.
I was like, what in the world? She decided to
was she
do that.
Oh,
she knew it was 1999 and we had to dress like 1999 and she had on that humongous.
Look at you.
What?
With that great smile. All right.
Oh, so cute.
But she had on a ridiculous outfit, and I said, well, what if wear a visor? So she wore the visor on a Friday, but she said, it was hard to see. So, scrap the visor. But the foil character makes us see the extremes, like the very flirtatious young lady versus the nun-like, very nerdy, scared best friend, and says, let's go. And she says, no. And she's like, why you not go? You go. And she does leave. And in the end, it's like, there is a girl code. We never, ever, ever leave anyone behind.
Yeah.
And I think that's another element that I really wanted to put there, that I know so many students who have been out drinking and something happens to them, because their friends left them, you know, and it's something subtle, something like over drinking, and then a young man takes them home, and then things happen, and they don't see that as rape, you know. And I said, from the mere fact that you're not conscious and a guy has sex with you, that is considered rape, you know. The physical elements, the physical abuse, like in this case, Tremet Perriott, who plays Mr. Daniels, when I said to him, I said, I know that this is a very important character, but you really have to make it believable. I really need somebody that I can trust that can take this as an acting, because it's not an easy thing to go up there and be the rapist. And you hear him, like the sound of him slapping her and beating her and saying to her, she says, I'm a virgin. And she's like, there's no virgin there. And he calls her different names. I mean, the audience couldn't see what was happening, but you hear it. And the magic with the lights, all the flashes of red, you know violence is going on. And so it was, again, that whole concept of we don't leave our friends because we don't know what can happen, and we have dangerous people out there. And this is a reality. I was having a conversation with two ladies yesterday, and one of them said, well, you know, in my school where I graduated, there was a PE teacher who had an affair with a student, and he controlled that student to the point that that they were having sexual affairs in a classroom or in the bathroom at school.
Wow.
So that in itself, I was like, really? I exaggerated it a bit by going to a club, but she says, no, it's true. I saw it. I saw people. I knew people who went through, and I knew that a lot of these stories were coming up now. And let's face it, in Belize, we are all about the image. As a community, we're very much about the image. Somebody said, you know, we don't want to air our dirty laundry out there. Whatever happens in the home, we keep it in the home. We never put it out there. That's why there's a rule in Belize when it comes to laundry, like literally. We never hang out, if we're hanging out clothes, we never hang out underwear. Right?
Yeah.
Because you can't let the people see what you wear. And it's the same thing. We don't talk about these things. So if there's a messy situation going on in a school, the school sweep it under the rug. We don't talk about it. So needless to say, I was super scared of doing the piece. And I was like, should I or shouldn't I? And then on top of that, I had BFLA as they're going to be receiving some proceeds from the play. And that in itself is also a taboo, you know, especially for Catholic schools. That and you know, I already did the play, so might as well I just talk about it. But Catholic schools are still not talking about things that can happen to young ladies.
Yeah, that's true. They still
They're
focus
still-
on abstinence only as your way how you can protect yourself.
Exactly.
When there needs to be a comprehensive sexuality education that talks about your emotional and mental well-being in preparation for your debut,
Right.
and you should have the autonomy to decide when do you want this to happen, right?
Right.
How do you go about protecting
Giving
yourself
people the
safely?
resources, giving people the access to information so they just could understand and make an educated decision. Because yes, you're teaching abstinence and everything, and I'm not saying you're not supposed to teach them,
Right.
but you also have to teach them. This is the reality of what the world will entail
Exactly.
and has out there. And these are the STIs. These are all the things that could be teenage pregnancy. You need to know these things so you're
Right.
fully equipped that when you're out there, you can make wise decisions, and talk about the free will that you're supposed to have too as well. You
Exactly.
take away free will when you're not giving people all that information.
Right. And the school's painted as we don't want to talk about it. We're not going to invite BFLA because they're gonna tell you to have sex. Nobody's telling you to have sex. It's just saying this is what can happen if you have sex.
Yes.
And the
These are the consequences?
The consequences, right? Tasia, you know, she had to explain to someone, you know, this is not the character that I'm really going to be. Like, yes, this is the character that I'm performing, but that's not who I am. Because some people confuse acting with reality, right?
Yeah.
And his first thing that said, you know, you have to be careful for your image. She's like, but it's acting. And on top of that, the character faces consequences.
Yeah.
Oh well, then you need to clear that up. You need to discuss that. No, we don't want to say that. That's the whole point. If I had to go like, oh yeah, Tejas or Sharona Jr. is a bad influence and she's going out drinking and having fun. Our audience already tuning in, why this ain't good because say let that thing happen and let's go see it. But if she were to turn around and say, but I'm gonna get raped, so be careful. I'm gonna be a bad girl and then I'm gonna be raped. Come see the show. Nobody wants to go see that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see
It's
that.
not enticing because people don't even like the word rape and what it means and how it comes about and all these different things.
And so there was a moment where Mayor Francis and Tasia were doing their piece, the very emotional piece, where real crying was happening on stage. For the audience, I hope they know that, but feelings were out there. And then I was there with Charmaine Garcia. So we're mothers, and our daughters are doing that very emotional scene, and we have to be silent. We can't move because it was shifting from one to the other, and so when it goes to the past, the present stays still. Then when it goes to the present, the past stays still. Everybody stays in position, and to see our daughters doing this, it was for me. I was crying Saturday night. My tears were coming out because I thought, our girls are doing such a great job, and what if it were our girls? And putting ourselves into that position. And for me as a mom, Mary is my only daughter. I have 2 boys, and they're very protective of her, even though they fight a lot. Oh my gosh. But they're very protective of her, and we are protective of her. And so, and I don't care who said that, oh, you're cheating on me. That is my baby. I have to protect my baby. But imagine we have young ladies out there who are not protected. And for the sake of, oh, you will get out and you find your way out there, that man you may want, go find yourself out there. And that is another issue that we face. Mothers not being supportive of their daughters when they go through particular instances. There's some elements of what I said were true. In the sense of, well, this particular person, their mom went and they said, if you're lucky people, they watch or else I may throw you off at this step. True.
Yeah.
That is something that a mother would say.
I experienced some of these things.
Yeah, and what
right?
Sharon explained shared on the stage, that her mom was like, we have no money for like another picnic, so you have to figure it out on your own. And she's like, I'm only 16, I have no idea what it is to be pregnant. Now I have to figure out how I'm gonna like look after myself, look after a child. Like her whole life changed because she was with somebody that she trusted. And I think that's also like the big factor there too, right? That she was with a teacher who was in a position of authority that says, I trust you that you will look after me, but he did not have those intentions. Right? And that's like, wow, to think, as you mentioned, that there's a lot of young girls that they go through this moment and next thing you know, your life changes because of how your family also thinks.
Exactly. Yeah, and when we were we had conversations off stage, and I know Miss Charmaine, who, this was very, very personal for her. She's like, I got pregnant young, and I had to go through certain things. So this was a very special piece for her. We had several arguments off stage too, loving arguments, but very debatable. Like, Tremet he at one point was like, you know what, let's talk about the man. Like, really, why is it that society immediately, yes, the man is at fault, for sure. But then where do we start educating our young ladies? And it has come to a point where we need to talk to our girls and say, these are the consequences of things that can happen. And so when I had women that I know who have children, daughters, and they asked me, can my child go to the play? I asked how old they were, because we had an advisory for 16 and over. And she's like, oh, well, she's 9 or 10. I said, okay, first of all, let me explain something. There is an advisory for 16 and plus because it may have some graphic scenes. It's not extreme, but there are going to be some graphic scenes. I am telling you this ahead of time because I would want your daughter to attend. I want them to see this, but it's up to you. You are the parent. You make that final decision. But, again, I'm inviting you to take your daughters to see what's happening here. And when I was on stage, especially with the Mary and Tasia piece became emotional, I was able to see some people off stage, like I could see the audience. And the silence was also deafening. Even though they're talking, the bliss was complete silence.
Yeah.
And I could see people wiping tears. I could see people uncomfortable. As soon as they got uncomfortable, they went on their phones and then they're texting and what's not. Some people started drinking. 'Cause thank goodness for the bliss that provide us some drinks inside, so that calmed some people's nerves.
Definitely, it did. It did.
It did stir some emotions.
And it should stir some emotions because we're not having enough conversations about
Right.
this, and that is why theater is there. It opens that realm of things to have a better conversation for things, and allow, because on a day-to-day basis, nobody's gonna come up to you and be like, "Oh, Melissa, you know, it's really bad that they're raping children out there and teachers." Nobody want to talk about that. But if you're going to a play and you're like, "Man, Mel, that play me rough," and like you can be able to open up because you've seen this play, so now you can connect and you can talk about it. It's a real talking, opening of feelings and understanding for persons way better.
Yeah, and we wanted the conversation to happen. And I know there were people who were saying, "Oh no, that was so triggering for people who had gone through." Please note that I did have a therapist that I spoke with, and I showed her the script, and I said, "Do you think that this would create problems for anyone who has been going through?" And she looked at it and she saw it. She was there back before the play, and I said, "Is this going to trigger anything negative?" And she's like, "No. It's to the point that it's still not tasteless, so that we understand what's happening, and it's not going to be anything that's going to stir up emotions. However, it will claim what happened. We're bringing it out there. I was raped." Because what Sharona Jr. says, she goes graphically, and I heard how his zip tore, and I heard his buttons, and I heard him telling me these things, and he hurt me. And this is when then it says, "Oh my God, you were raped." Because the victim still doesn't say it out loud. It's not something that they're gonna say it, and everybody said, "Yeah, well, my mom doesn't believe that." Like she says, "I was looking for it." Because we still have parents who do that. You get pregnant, that you may want it. And so we need to have that community of support.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the humorous part where the bar owner becomes almost like a semi-hero who takes her in and says, "You can work in my bar." I said, "Because all the women here have gone through something similar like you, where men do all these things to them and they have no place to go." And I was alluding to human trafficking, right? And I still say, they were talking backstage like, "Yeah, but you just as bad as them because you technically to make you make money." And the bar owner does that. And the women have to try to find a way to get out. And that's the reality. That girls who are trafficked are also trying to find a way out. And sometimes prostitution is the easiest way out.
That is true. Melissa, there's definitely a lot to unpack from Huda Wilipa. And if you missed out, boohoo, but definitely it was such an important message to continue with the conversation, especially like this month there has been a lot of femicides that is important for us to have that conversation, but also like bringing the importance of how do we talk to men, to like have our own responsibility, how do we grow our men, how do we talk to our girls, and how do we provide appropriate support for them within our friend spaces, within our family structures, for everybody to be able to openly talk about it, prepare themselves if they ever think about, "I want to have sex, how do I go about doing this well?" There was so much for us to talk about. As we start wrapping up this conversation, what would be your sending off message to our viewers who are tuned in?
I want women to know that they're not alone, that we do have a community that helps. It's not a shame to say that I was raped because it's not your fault. Sex, and in the message we said, sex is not a right. You don't have to give sex to anyone. It is your choice. And if you do, again, and I will say this over and over, nothing is wrong with a woman saying, "Please use a condom." Even during a rape, and I have to reiterate that. When people are going through a rape, there is nothing wrong with the victim to say, please, sir, use a condom.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
that is true.
The whole idea of
Yeah, because if marital rape is a thing,
Yes.
right? Where you can say, husband, use a condom, even though like I'm having sex against my will,
Yeah.
right? But that's a great point too.
Because that was another argument, a point of contention. Oh, well, if the gal asks for the condom, that means she may want it.
No, she's trying to protect herself.
That's a thing. So ask for protection. There's nothing wrong with asking for a condom. There's nothing wrong with women having condoms with them, because you never know what can happen. The community is there to help you, and there is an imbalance of power that we as a society need to break.
Yeah.
And any adult who knows of men or women having a relationship with a younger person, it is wrong. And if we allow it, if we tolerate it, we are as guilty as the person doing the action.
Very true.
So thank you so much, guys, for allowing me the space to talk about it. They must say, kick me out. They must say, I have got
Yeah,
me
yeah.
right now.
They're ready to say, okay, she's running overtime. Enjoy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, but big up to Channel 7. I have to big you all up, and Sunup for being one of our major sponsors. I know I can't call out any other of my sponsors, but Special Envoy Human Development.
You were trying.
Yeah, definitely. And also like a big shout out to everybody that was, like part of the crew. Cast, backstage people, everybody
Yes.
that did an
And I want to
excellent job.
remind
We're so
people,
proud
I
of
know we've
everybody.
talked about the play and given a lot more details of it, because a lot of things were in the air to push people to have the play, to come to the play. But I still think this is a play that should be going on the road. A lot of people think the same thing too as well. So we need money to do that in the case people are hearing the conversation and feel like your community would benefit from that. Talk to Miss Melissa about it and see exactly how that would look and what that entails, because these conversations need to be had. And theater is a way of expression of the art to allow people to have safe places to have these conversations. So let's include that and continue with the arts, continue its theme, and let people know that there are spaces for this too as well.
Definitely.
And if you are somebody that is a victim of domestic violence, gender-based violence, get your help, get your support too as well. Find a safe place too.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And it's also time for us to wrap up the show. So we want to say thank you so much for joining Renata and I on this Monday episode. Starting your week with us, which was really, really great. So we thank you so much for bringing us into your space. We also want to thank the National Creole Council talking about their Creole Heritage Week, which is taking place this week. There's so many things for you to engage in. Follow them on their social media pages, especially on Facebook, for you to know what activities they have ongoing and how can you engage with them. Melissa, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Talking about Huda
Thank you,
Wilipa.
guys.
Excellent job. The play
You
was so
too.
much fun. Makuti on duty. That was so
Did you
much
save
fun.
Jules though? Did you
Yeah.
save Jules? I just want to make sure.
But we don't know. Well, Jules was here this morning, so
Jules was here.
evidently
So-
He's
it was
alive.
not.
Never did happen.
It was not Jules who got kidnapped.
Yeah.
It was not Jules that kidnapped.
It was another particular journalist.
It was another particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know who he is. We don't call.
Yeah.
We don't call names. The kids
Yeah.
don't call names either
That's
way.
true. Well,
so
thank
with
you,
that,
everybody.
guys,
Yes.
we come to the ending of the show. It's 8:30 exact on the dot. We send you off on your Montabulous Monday with sunshine, love, happiness, peace,
Yeah.
and the chance.
Also, Friday is our Halloween special. Stay tuned to how these outfits are going to
gonna be
look.
awesome.
Because we're going to have a great time.
So stay
Yes.
tuned for all of that, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We love you.
Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover